all the things that I just heard coming in, I can only imagine what you heard throughout. So fill me in. Like, does anybody want to give me like their top 2 nuggets? Like, I would love to hear somebody stand up and share what some of their top 2, like they're taking away from this. And first of all, I'm guessing who learned something they didn't know in these last 2 days? Okay, good. Claire, you guys did a good job. Em, you did a good job. And clearly if you did, that also means you retained it. So I always love to hear somebody stand up and tell me what they've heard. So anybody want to do that? I'd love to hear it. You need to be able to do this when you're thinking about raising money.
The number one thing that I'm taking away from this is that I've been thinking on too small of a scale. I just wasn't aware of all of the possibilities yet, and having a business already that's a successful business, of just how far I can take it. And so that's been the biggest item.
That's amazing. See that this is unlocked for you. You're like, I could be going even bigger.
Yeah.
I love that. Anybody else? Yep.
I learned that I am actually ready to raise money for my company, and I thought I wasn't, but I definitely am ready. And I'm actually going to go back and rewrite my business plan based on what I learned yesterday and today.
Phenomenal. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Look at that. And you've got a whole supportive group here cheering you on. Anybody else? I'll take 1 or 2 more. Yes?
To piggyback off that, I've learned that we have an amazing network in this room that we need to be utilizing, helping each other out rather than viewing each other as a competition. And I think I made some great connections here.
Yeah, they talk about the PayPal mafia. The stiletto mafia is coming, and that's what we need to see more of, is the talking amongst ourselves, sharing the deals, all these kinds of things, because as I said, competitive landscape, there will be lots of people doing it, but it doesn't mean it's a zero-sum game. Like all tides lift all boats. Like this can be this room right here of the things that you can say, hey, let me help each other to raise up. Did I see one more? Yeah.
Not to giggle when asking for money.
What?
Not to giggle when asking.
Oh yeah, no, the giggle or the like, all of a sudden your voice gets quiet.
Pause.
This is when this is actually when practice, when you do it in the mirror, when you hear because you need to get over hearing your voice. You need to get over all the like, oh, is that what I sound like? So that you can just step in and then just say the thing that you want. So absolutely, giggling, shrinking, you're staying in this moment, you're owning the room, you're stepping into it, and they know you're here, and they're not gonna be like, why is she here? Can she handle this? They know you can handle it. And you know you can handle it now. Any final ones? Yes, I know, I just love it being interactive. So I'm gonna keep saying any final ones till I get no more hands, please.
There's so much power in relationships and community, and that our network is our net worth.
Network is your net worth, yes, absolutely. And that is the key. I mean, all of business and a lot of, the venture world and raising money is relationship based, right? You might have the best product, but if you can't get in the room with the people that are writing the checks, you're not going to be able to move it forward. And so part of this is not being inauthentic to who you are, but it's figuring out how do you move in the world? How do you best move in the world? And then finding the path that you don't have to change who you are. Sometimes you may have to build up that courage, but there is somebody that can be the match to you so that you don't have to completely be a different person. And it's also why partnering, and in the last panel, they talked about HR and ops and having the people that can be clashing, but also when they work together are an amazing complement. Finding the person that is your opposite is also a great thing, because that can give you confidence in somebody to bounce ideas off of you and can lift you up. You can bring the person that makes somebody that's super extroverted more thoughtful, and they can be the person that brings you out and starts as creative, and then the financial people. Sometimes you are the same in one, but also don't make yourself be all of everything, because you need to be able to bring others along. The most successful companies that we see are these kinds of founders where they attract people who want to follow the vision that they've set, and they give them opportunities to bring the skill that they have that helps the sum be greater than the parts. So be that person that people want to follow, and do it by being you, so it doesn't have to be draining and more work than you need to do. Was it over here? Yes.
I think I just, after being in the room with all these amazing women, it's really inspiring to hear other stories where you can be your authentic self in your business and really move a business forward with the things that you feel are important, not just efficient, but are important causes. I've heard about how people have driven their business with how they treat their teams and what's important has made them successful when so many times you hear, well, that's not going to be profitable. So just hearing that was really affirmative to how I'm approaching my business.
And that's also part of being the owner. This is yours, right? You can set the tone of what your business is. And until such a time as you start taking other people's money, like it is your vision. And then when you start taking other people's money, it is important to don't just take the first person that's trying to give you money, really make sure that they are aligned in that same vision, because the worst thing you can do is take the wrong person's money and then they're just like you hear them calling and then you just get riled up and you just don't want to be a part of that relationship. Money and fundraising and being in the investing, it's a relationship, it's a marriage. You're looking at these, in the venture world, we're looking at things from a 5 to 7 year horizon. You don't want to be miserable for 5 to 7 years. And like money people, like we're nice, but eventually if things go bad, like it gets less nice. And you want to make sure that you are aligned from the outset so that it can kind of stay nice and that you know there's going to be bad times and you want it such that you're not afraid to call them, because the worst thing you can do is hide when something's going wrong and be like, I don't want to tell them, and then it snowballs. So you want to make sure you get into financial relationships, with people where you can say, when something's bad happening, tell me sooner rather than later so that we can work on fixing this, because that's one of the worst things. Like, that's the most upsetting thing when it turns out where somebody's like, oh, like, we're about to shut down. And then they say, why? And you're like, why didn't you tell me this 6 months ago? We actually could have helped avoid it. So think about that in the relationships that you build. But absolutely, it is all relationships. Anything else? Let's see. When I think about closing, did I just turn this? It's about just think about what you've learned these last 2 days. Think about where you want to go. Think about how big or how small. Again, it doesn't have to be, I need to have 1,000 locations. It can be, I have this one, I want 5, I want 10. Really self-reflect on what it is that you want to be building. And then I like to actually, do the work backwards. Like, if I want to have 20 locations in 5 years, what do I need to set into motion to get that ready now? And that's the kind of thing where then you take a big idea and break it down into things that are smaller size. And then you also think about who would I need to know and get in the room with to start me on that process. Because just know you can't do all of that yourself. But if you break it down to bite-sized pieces, this is why I love LinkedIn so much. It's kind of and the best thing that you can get is a warm introduction. People will answer cold email. I mean, I get emails all the time where people lob it in. But I get so many of them that I can't actually react to all of them. But if Emily, this is why I'm in this room today, Emily and Claire, it was a warm conversation where it's like there's going to be a group of amazing women. We would love to have you come in here. And I'm like, okay, this is something where I know clearly I work helping female founders and entrepreneurs, but this is something I want to be a part of sharing information with. So when you can pay it forward too, do it as well. Have that conversation with each other, have that conversation with your staff, that person that's like, I want to be you one day. There's somebody in your team that wants to be you one day. So maybe have them be your protege along the way, because it's really incredible where people end up that may have started out as your assistant and then one day they're running some crazy thing. Those come back in really, really cool and interesting ways. So that cycle is a great cycle to be a part of. And you guys all said it, this network, the people that I saw on the list that you've heard from, you're in really good company. So make sure you stay involved, stay engaged, and follow where this journey goes and where Claire and the team take you. So
Wonderful.
Anything else?
That's perfect. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Eden.